Sign up for our monthly giveaway. Every month, we give away exclusive Cigars and Sea Stories gear, as well as items for our guests and sponsors. Those are gadgets, gizmos, all sorts of different stuff. When you subscribe to our newsletter by going to cigarsandseastories.com and clicking subscribe, you automatically enter into our monthly giveaway. How you earn points for those giveaway is by sharing the referral link with your network. Every time you share, you earn a point. Every time one of your friends subscribes, you earn an additional 5 points. So go to cigarsandseastories.com right now and subscribe.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean.
On this episode of Cigars and Sea Stories, my competitor is sitting down to talk about fitness. You know, like fitness. We've talked about PT, but we're going to talk about fitness because we have a really fucked up interpretation of what fitness is from our time in service.
Especially while you're in.
Yeah. I don't know why, but just I think it's because there have been so many different fads that have come and gone over the years that have been considered fitness, and the Marine Corps has outlasted all of them, that they're slow to adopt any new type of fitness. And I say that because it kind of like falls into the category of the body type and the person and understanding nutrition and a lot of what goes into it outside of just a PT regimen. I can tell you right now, I am not the fittest human being in the world right now, nor while I was in service. Just didn't really give a shit. I was the guy who I never really cared about what I ate. I still don't. If it tastes good, I care about whether or not it tastes good. Fancy diet pills and all of the other stuff, didn't really care. But I did lift a lot, especially on my second tour. And I wound up taking a stack. So I took like NO Explode as the pre-workout, but I also had a stack, and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But anyway, got jacked while on deployment, which there's a lot of guys with that story. There's nothing else to do, so I decided to just lift. And got huge. And then got home and couldn't sustain any of that shit. Because you can't eat for free. Well, you're not eating for free, but you're getting... Technically, you're getting more meals and better meals depending on where you're at on deployment and what you're doing on deployment than what you could potentially get at home by yourself. So, depends. So fitness is just not high on the agenda. At least not for me. There's some guys who are. I don't know, were you ever one of those guys?
Well,
in the military.
But it was twisted. Yeah, but it was twisted.
Okay.
now that I look back, and hindsight's always 2020.
Right.
You know, the standard American diet is complete shit. You know, in general, let's be honest. So you would do that coupled with working out all the time, basically, especially on deployment, at least for me. And you would be supposedly, and I do this with air quotes, in shape, right? but then now I'm reaping the benefits of being, I'm going to do it again, air quotes, in shape, because my whole body's just twisted up hormonally and everything else, right? And who knows? We're not going to get into the whole science and all that shit today about that. But it's just funny that the military expects a certain level of fitness from everyone, right?
Yeah.
To maintain, operational whatever. And that's all fine and dandy when you're 20. But as soon as you're not 20 and you're like 40, getting ready to get out, I'm telling you, it's because of like, you're all fucked up. Your hormones are fucked up because you've been, eating fucked up shit and been exposed to fucked up shit and living on Rippets and coffee and everything else for the past 20 years, right?
Right.
Or 10 years, ever. Everything is twisted up, and fitness is just kind of bullshit in the military is what it really comes down to. Yeah, I can run 3 miles in under 18 minutes. Yeah, I could do 20 pull-ups and I could do 80 sit-ups or whatever the fuck it was when I was in the Corps. And then in the Army, it was, much the same, except for I couldn't run anymore. Not that way. Not again. It was weird. I got out of the Corps. Last PT test I did in the Corps was 1996. It was like June of 96, and I scored a 300,
Yeah.
And then I literally a year and a half later, I couldn't run anymore. It was fucking bizarre. I could still do push-ups and sit-ups and all that shit like a motherfucker, but I could not run anymore. It just hurt too much. And it was literally like, so I'm like a 28-year-old. Well, let's see. So 1998. So I was 24 when I went into the Army. And that year and a half break that I had, basically, I didn't hardly work out once. So I got back into it where I passed the PT to get in and all that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I just never could run again. And I was perpetually on and off the Fat Boy program because it turns out now that I look back, hindsight 2020, I had all kinds of thyroid issues and pituitary gland issues and all these other issues health-wise because I beat the shit out of myself in the striving for fitness, right?
Right.
But you look back and the diet was complete garbage, and it's like you want guys to be healthy, right? Because your entire existence depends on your health, especially in the military. You'll operate better, you'll do everything better, but yet the food quality is horrifically bad, right? And especially on deployment, bro. Let's be honest. MREs will fucking kill you. You can't
eat MREs all the time and survive.
You can't do it. It's fucking horrible. And
right.
There's guys, the first guys in, like guys in country in 2002, 3, 4, they lived on MREs for over a year. You know what I mean? And maybe they got like a hot chow, twice, 3 times a week, maybe, if they're lucky. And then think about what it was. It's all horrible. Horrifically bad. And I, as someone else, that doesn't take away my personal responsibility in not paying attention to that stuff in myself, right? But I also know that knowing what I know now because of research that I've done and tests that I've even done on myself and just talking to people and this and that, part of the epidemic that we have with issues in the veteran community is because of their nutrition, diet, and everything in service. And then once you get out, you kind of guys maintain that for a little while because they don't know any other way, right? I mean, I know guys that live on fucking energy drinks. Like that's what they
right.
That the only reason that they're able to do what they're do is because they drink like 3 Monsters, 4, 5 Monsters a day. That will fucking kill you.
Well, and there's an argument essentially that's a long time argument stating that the food in chow halls, depending on where you go and what you're doing, is enough. If that's all that you ate all of the time was chow hall food, you could sustain existence, obviously, and live and work on a military base. What is the average? I mean, I shouldn't say average. The majority of the personnel in the military are not going out to the field all the time. The majority of the personnel are support elements who are working on base. So if they're going to a chow hall, which is a dining facility specifically designed for the support elements, then the argument is valid. It doesn't matter. You could literally never set foot off base because your base housing is here, your defect's here, this is where you work. Why do you ever need to leave? You know, we've got little entertainment centers and shit like that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking in my mind's eye, like Quantico or Camp Pendleton.
Oh, yeah. You would never have to leave base because
Right.
you have commissaries. You've got everything.
And
you have everything that you would ever need to never leave base.
But the guys who are down, who are downrange, who are out in the field, let's say who are even eating T-rats, which is... which is just, I mean, they're not good. So
I mean, it's not only do they not taste good, they're not good for you at all.
Right.
It's Frank food, bro.
So it's like you've chosen this harder MOS, right? Arguably harder MOS, blah, 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 right? You're living out in the field. That's how you want to live, blah, 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 all of this other stuff. Plenty of arguments to be had there. But the food that's going out to the field is preservative. Nothing's fresh. We can't cook food out in the field, really. You know, we don't have a chuck wagon that's rolling out there.
You can't, right? You don't have a Dutch oven and a fire.
You know, and so, I mean, dude, maybe this is something that we need to work with our cook counterparts on. You know, our fellow entrepreneurs who are veterans. How can we come up with a chuck wagon and a fresh food delivery mechanism to where you have a chuck wagon that's part of the element, let's say, for instance, and then you're running fresh food out to them to maintain this. I'm not saying that you got to do a goddamn omelet bar for breakfast or anything, but you actually have real eggs.
Right, instead of eggs from a fucking carton. I mean, and not an egg carton. I'm talking about a milk carton.
Right.
Literally, you know, and who knows what's in those fucking things. So, we could go down a rabbit hole in this episode, hardcore. But what it comes down to is that, and every 20-something person that's listening to this podcast right now is go, get fucked.
Right.
Go fuck yourself. Shut up. But you know what? When you're 45 years old like me, and you're broke like a motherfucker, and you realize it's because of the life you lived before that you've got some catch up to do to get yourself unfucked, or else you're going to die at 60, because my shit is all fucked up. And it's not anyone else's fault. I'm not blaming anyone else.
Sure. Yeah.
But it comes down to education and everything else. And you know what? Everybody goes through this cycle, and unfortunately, you don't give a fuck. You're not choosing to go into the chow hall and eat broccoli and boiled chicken and a salad. That's what motherfuckers are not. They're not eating that shit. Not very many of them.
Right.
There is that meathead fucking dude that actually understands that shit. But again, he's not doing it because he wants to be healthy. He's doing it because he wants to be jacked.
Right.
Right? There's not a whole lot of other in between. It's either people that totally don't give a fuck and they can get away with eating 3 hot dogs and french fries every fucking lunch at the chow hall, because guess what? They do serve that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or everyone understands what the fuck I'm saying. I'm just saying that shit will catch up to you. Period.
Well, then
instead of just eating like you and I have had this conversation many times, and my favorite thing in the world to eat is good, clean meat.
Yeah.
With, your variation of spices, grilled, broiled, pan fried, whatever, and then vegetables. That's it.
Yep.
That's what I like to eat. That's what I like to eat now. That wasn't I still want to eat fucking bratwurst and fucking all that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I still want to eat all that shit. But I learned that I have gluten issues. I've got all kinds of other issues. And it's not bullshit. It's not bullshit, folks. it just is what it is. And, we're getting it straightened out. My wife has now and she's 30. She's the same age as you, Mike, right? She's what, 37? How old are you? My wife. She's
I am 31 years old.
31, that's it. Right. I'm thinking of it doesn't matter. Anyway, my wife is 38 now, right? Mm-hmm. One of the healthiest people I know. She's fit. If you look at her, she's fit. You can ask Mike. He'll probably admit it.
I can't say anything. That's a loaded thing to say. That's loaded.
Anyway, she's fit, as the Brits would say, right? And
I'm going to sip my coffee and nod.
Right. Okay. Yes. So she developed rheumatoid arthritis last year.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And we can actually directly trace it, because we've also done the genetics on it, directly trace it back to her diet over these years. And she was supposedly being healthy. You realize that our children, Michael, are the first generation of folks in a long time where their life expectancy is actually lower than ours.
Really?
It doesn't make any fucking sense, right?
Because of the food that's out there?
But a lot of it's because, diabetes is out of control, and it's because of my thing. And I don't want to, I'm not a scientist, but I have done a ton of research on this, and I've got some certifications and stuff because of my research and school and other things that I've learned. But it's mainly because of the refined carbohydrates and sugars that we consume as a society. Mm-hmm. I'm not a fucking vegan. I'm not a goddamn crunchy fucking tree hugger. Ask Mike. It's not. That's not my gig. We just need to stop eating McDonald's every day.
It's funny because when I thought fitness, okay, and I agree, we got to stop eating McDonald's every day. But when I think of fitness and I think of like being in the military and training and all of this other stuff, all of my time that I remember being in the military, all of the majority of my life in the military was spent out in the field. It's just that simple. Even in Quantico, I was down on a range.
About the dumb shit that we did to maintain fitness.
Right. So, but what I'm trying to get at though is you're out there in the field. I mean, what did you have for pokey bait in the field on top of everything else?
Yeah, it's all garbage.
Right. It was, it was everything that you would bring out into the woods with you. So it was like beef jerky, and I would bring sardines and those little smoked Vienna sausages and a thing of hot sauce.
I mean, to be completely honest and whatnot, most commercial beef jerky is not the best for you, but there are options now that are not bad. Well, and sardines are never bad.
But what I'm basically trying to get at is you're not bringing the food from the commissary out into the field. You're bringing the food from like a convenience store.
You're not bringing carrot sticks and fucking celery.
Right.
You're bringing Vienna sausages. Chef Boyardee is the motherfucking
the stuff
man
that keeps in the field, right? It keeps for longer. How are you going to maintain fitness?
Eating Frankenfood.
Right. To where it's like you're eating convenience store food to fit in the gaps in between your meals, which are either going to be MREs or T-rats. It's which is still considered hot chow.
Maybe you'll get the hot chow that's actually in Mermites. Maybe.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe, and that's a maybe.
Well, then, I mean,
I never had one Mermite meal the whole time I was in the Marine Corps. I know that for a fact. But I was in a different unit, so I don't know what it was like in a line unit. You know what I mean? I don't.
We just had T-rats. It was just boiling,
so that's
chafing. Yeah.
God. Chicken cacciatore, omelet, maybe the other chicken one, and I can't remember what it was, but it was just weird.
Cavatelli or whatever.
Yeah, chicken, and then the turkey with gravy and the fake mashed potatoes. That was a big one I remember, T-rat wise. Anyway, but regardless, in the Army, once in a while, you'd get a mermite. I have to give it to the Army. That did happen.
Well, but the point is, though, is that you're trying to maintain a physical standard of a human body, and based on the stuff that's in the chow hall, you can do it. We don't eat that. Only when we're in garrison do we eat that. Every other time we're eating convenience store food and T-Rats or MREs.
Right.
So I want the numbers reran.
Or Taco Bell. Like if you're I mean like if not out in the field. I'm saying like when you would come out of the field,
right?
You're not choosing to run to the chow hall. Like you're sending the motherfucker to swoop to Taco Bell,
right?
Or to Burger King or whatever,
Jr. Right?
Yeah, to grab whatever to rock it. You know, you'd have like a. Remember that shit? Where you'd have the guy collected money. It was usually a like a PFC or a Lance, junior Lance Corporal that would fucking be like. And even like the squad leaders, like, here's my fucking car keys. Don't you fuck up my car, but you go get this food right now.
Right.
Like the day you're coming out of the field.
Yep.
Have that shit ready, bitch.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly. Yes.
It's not like you're going home to grill up some chicken breasts and fucking broccoli.
Right.
It just doesn't happen.
I would call How's chicken.
Right. Yeah. Right.
On the way, like, yes, you Marine, you and it's loud truck, and it's like the Humvees going on in the background. This is horribly racist, but I don't care. The Humvees going on in the background. You Marine, yes, I'm coming out of the field. Oh, okay, what you need,
Yeah, man.
Filling in the How's chicken. Like, you guys deliver booze? Ha ha ha, you Marines always try to get liquor. It's like, oh man. Because they were right next to Church's Chicken and all of that other shit off base. And it was like, yeah, man. Dude, every once in a while, you could get a delivery guy to deliver you alcohol, which was fantastic.
Every once in a while. Right?
Everyone. You guys deliver alcohol? How much you need for you, Marine? And like, good times. He's showing up with a 30
They'd
rack.
add the $10, a $10 tip onto their fucking bill before they even bring it to you.
Right, exactly. But that is not how you maintain fitness. Have you noticed that this episode is all about what you probably shouldn't do to maintain fitness, because we really don't know? Like, I don't.
Yeah, because
I have no idea.
Don't really know. I mean,
I'm not gonna bullshit.
I'm not gonna lie that I do.
I have no idea what to do.
But that doesn't mean, again, the knowledge and education of it doesn't always translate into practice.
Does not trickle down.
I can tell you that over the last 6 months, I'm finally, and I've been out of service for almost 15 years, but then I had those, working the security gigs and all that. It might as well be the same, right? And then working in the nuke plant, working the fucking crazy ass schedules don't do your body any good either. Fitness wise,
right? Working nights,
even if you do, working nights, working swing shift, all that shit, it just fucks your shit up. And then now, for the last 6 months, I've been doing damn good, and mainly it's because I want my wife to be better. So you have to have that motivation. And you know what? Unfortunately, we wait to learn a lot of this stuff until you've felt the pain of fucking some kind of tragedy, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So, and that's just life. It is what it is. And me talking about it isn't going to change the way guys, get fit or approach fitness within their lives. But yeah, man, it's one of those things. Like, I can tell you what to do, but you're not going to do it until you decide that you're going to fucking do it. Right.
Well, right.
So,
and there are other things and supplements and nutrition items like Nutrition One and some of these other different things that you can bring out to the field with you, other than getting Poggy Pate, which tastes good. And
it fucking tastes Great.
Dude, I used to bring a carton of cigarettes out to the field with me.
Oh yeah, man.
You know, and that should be gone.
And
Like,
that's
how
a whole-
long are we going out for? A week, and I'm going to smoke a carton of cigarettes. Like, this is not healthy. This is not good. This.
Oh, and not only the carton of cigarettes, but you'd probably also take down a roll of dip too.
Right. Well, then
while you're at it.
I was the guy. Now, how I mean, I didn't smoke that much. Jesus Christ, yeah. But I mean, I smoked a lot of cigarettes and I dipped a lot. Don't get me wrong. I definitely did a lot. That was like my favorite pastime. You know, that I think has been the hardest thing because I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. I mean, I rarely smoke cigars. That was kind of the hardest thing, is like quitting nicotine in order to increase fitness.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, this is not helping me. And it's funny because I busted my nose so many times. I have a deviated septum, so I've always got that weird post-nasal drip that just always goes on. I broke my nose 9 times. You know, so anyway, I guess every once in a while it sounds like I've got a smoker's hack, but I haven't experienced long-term. I bet the burn pits have done more long-term damage to me than Camel Lights have. So,
right, probably.
Or, you know, you said it best, like, you know, a log of dip, stateside Copenhagen is just amazing, especially when you're downrange.
Yeah.
So that's it, though. That's all that you've got. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that shit, yeah, it's the only thing that you've got to kind of like break the.
I mean it's that or whacking it, dude.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's
so
it.
It's like you're out of options, right? I mean, especially, let's be honest, bro. On being deployed, it just kind of sucks.
In the military,
I mean,
right?
In the military, it just sucks. Overall, now, I mean, and it's such a duality in this fucking day and age, especially with, you know, war fighters in the aspect that you literally, I've met so many guys, and I'm guilty as well, is how many times are you like, yeah, I'd go back in a second.
Oh yeah, every other
day. But why? You know what I mean? It's because there's something lacking there, right? And it sure as fuck isn't fitness. We know that, but it's got to do with your mental fitness as well. Why is that, man? Why do guys and even gals, why the fuck would you want to go back to the craziest shit that you've ever fucking been involved with willingly? You know what I mean? Over and over and over and over again.
Oh, see, I would, because it's the one and only time that I've actually felt 100% entirely free. As ironic as that may sound, but you're
right. That's what I'm saying. No. Yeah. No. I'm talking about the whole gamut, the whole thing. Like, why? What? Because the only thing that's good for you about that is the fact that you might feel free. But are you really? Like, what goes on in our minds that shit? I mean, I don't want to get so deep, but you know what I mean?
I totally understand. It's one of those things to where it's almost an exploratory sense. You know, it's
bad
getting out there. It's adventuring.
That shit is bad for
you. Right. It can be. Well,
in every aspect is bad for you.
Well, and it's funny because I say that deployments in the military suck. They do. Deployments in the military fucking suck. Deployments as a contractor, which I have not taken a deployment as a contractor. I only have buddies who have done deployments as contractors. They sound really fucking awesome. You're not sleeping in the same way and dealing with the same bullshit, and there's no formations and uniform inspections. I've had a uniform inspection overseas, believe it or not. As far as like how we're maintaining appearance and professionalism, blah, 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 and the stature of the Marines and yada, yada. Whereas when you're in civilian attire, nobody gives a fuck. So, you know, when you're an individual and a member of a contractor unit, you just have an easier time.
Well, I guess it really comes down to that you really feel like, let's be honest here, we know it. combat is kind of like a drug.
It is. It is.
It
but
is.
I've done
It's because of the adrenaline. It's because of all the stuff. You feel like, boom, I'm alive. I'm alive.
Yeah, but
right?
it's also, I mean, at least for this guy, it is the ultimate hunting trip. And I really enjoy hunting. So I want to go on another terrorist hunting trip. I mean, that was the way that I really viewed it. I mean,
And you're not the only one that's like that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Because your adrenaline's up. It's
Yeah.
stressful. It's fucking, it's kind of like that. Well, fuck. I mean, once a warrior, always a warrior, right? For the most part, it's you. Everyone remembers that first time that they cracked shots out in anger and received fire, because it makes your asshole pucker along with other things, right? The adrenaline is fucking toxic, meaning it's intoxicating, not toxic. That's not what I meant. Intoxicating after a while. Like you literally are like sitting out on a fob or whatever, or a not really fob, but like an outpost, just waiting to get attacked because you're like, this is so fucking boring.
Right. Well, and you want to get into a fight.
It's those highs and lows of deployment. You're like, can somebody please fucking attack us?
Right.
Because I just want to do something.
Tell people every day that I love the enemy.
Right. Do you know what I mean now?
Yeah. Without enemy, we would have nobody to kill. You better love the enemy.
So when it comes to fitness, as we mean here, there's no way to replicate that. So the rest of it doesn't matter. You're like, fuck it. I'm going to eat cheeseburgers and fucking steakums fucking day. It just doesn't matter. Right?
Right. I mean, it doesn't. And what I think's funny about it is I think the number 1 or 2 Google thing, where like Instagram keyword tag note is fitness. Fitness whole pizza in my mouth. But like, yeah, it's funny. And the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because I had no idea or understanding really of how to maintain any sort of fitness routine, or fitness was basically height and weight standards, and if you maintain that, you're okay.
Right.
And
which is still twisted.
Right. And there's no amount of annual training that you're going to put me through where I'm going to change my ways or anything else like that. I mean, it's just not going to happen. The only way to change it is to offer and to provide, a lot of those different types of things, which I don't have all of the solutions on it by any means. But you take that combination of this weird concoction of rippets and nicotine and
fucking
MRVs
ECM, ECA stacks,
right,
and all kinds of weird shit.
Right. And then it's like, hey man, let's get into a fucking firefight. So you're like, yeah. Like that's what the hunting trip is. That's how you sustain yourself in between firefights. And kind of get yourself back into it. I don't know, it's funny. I think about it a lot because I hunt alone. And I have safety measures and other stuff that goes into it, but I hunt alone. So when you walk, let's say, for instance, 2,000 meters out into the wilderness, which isn't very far, 2 clicks is not a big deal.
No.
And where your hunting spot is, and while you're out there, you might walk around an additional 2 or 3 clicks, depending on what you're going to do. Well, now you kill something. You're alone. You got to hike it back. What happens if you get injured? So I have multiple, first aid kits and various spots around my pack, different stuff like that. But you're alone. And that gets my blood up to the same level. Because, I mean, you could die out there, or whatever. But it gets my heart rate up there whenever I see a deer. You're in season, you're locked and loaded, or walking through the woods with a gun in your hand. You see an animal that you're ready, willing, and able to kill. It can get that level of intensity. But I mean, I think about it every once in a while. I'm like, yeah, but that thing's not holding RPG. So it's it doesn't
Right,
really
exactly. Right.
it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
have the same level of intensity by any means. You just want to make sure that you get the shot so that you can actually have meat, on the table, which is a different experience unto itself. But it's that hunter, all of that other stuff. But yeah, it's missing an element of, and also it's missing the moving and phalanx. A lot of people are like, oh, it's the camaraderie. Yeah, okay, whatever. I agree with that term. That's maybe the foundation of it. Phalanx is that's the right end spectrum of it. Moving in phalanx and then having camaraderie. Like, you could have camaraderie in and around your workplace, and that is, I don't know, a grocery store or something like that. And you can have camaraderie. When you're in Ramadi, you move as a unit in phalanx. That's a totally different thing. That's totally separate from camaraderie. That's like we're in lockstep, one fluid killing machine. It's oh yeah, we got camaraderie. And I miss that. I miss being in phalanx.
Right.
Good fitness. Yeah. Good fitness episode. Yeah, man.
Yeah, but no, when I think of fitness, I think of like the whole package, like fitness as in like people are like fitness, but it's, fitness is bullshit unless you have the whole package. It's mind, body, spirit.
I think that we are taking a whole lot of people from a whole lot of different backgrounds who are coming from different lineages that have had the ability to create the ultimate melting pot over the past couple of centuries, because especially over this past century, people can just move. I mean, you can just move. Even right now, there are people who are negative people who are slope-foreheaded, mongoloid fucking morons who are like, well, I can't move. I can't displace my family. Shut the fuck up. You have everything that you need in order to move all the way across the country. It's really easy. Believe it or not, easy. Not just simple, it's fucking easy. I've moved across the country a lot. Matter of fact, it's one of those things to where it's like, yeah, you can do it. You can either sell and get rid of all of your shit, which gives you enough money to go and get stable somewhere else. Which, when you move across the country, remember that America is twice the size of Europe. The whole fucking continent. Our country, our one country. So, like, moving from Michigan down to North Carolina is the equivalent of moving from Germany all the way down to Naples. Read a book. So, the whole point here is we're Americans. We can move all over. We're the top 4.4% on the globe. We're the richest country in the world. You can pick up all your shit and move. You're too fucking lazy not to. So you've got all of these people from all of these different backgrounds who are coming from all over the globe, and then they're going through one point, and that is the U.S. military, let's say, for instance, and you're expecting cream of the crop, but you're getting all of these different backgrounds. Old boy grew up on tamales. This guy grew up on pot roast and fucking, carrots and potatoes. And the kid down the block who doesn't have any fucking shoes in Louisiana, let's say, for instance, grew up on, I don't know, crawdads. And now they're all supposed to eat the same shit and be the same in this, like, it's not going to work.
Right.
You're going to have problems with that in a big population sort of a way. If they're there. I mean, I'm sorry, but the stats already have proven if you served a full 20 years plus, you have a shorter life expectancy.
Oh, yeah. Like the average 4 years spent in the Marine Corps. I can't remember the study either. I have seen it.
In the infantry.
The study does exist, but I can't. Maybe we should dig. I'll dig to find it, to put it somewhere, like in the show notes or post it out or whatever.
I think it was
4 years.
4 years in the Marine Corps infantry is the equivalent of 8 years in the NFL.
I think it's 7.
7 years in the NFL.
7 or that one. But then 8 years in the NFL. You're correct, I think, but 7 years of life. So it does the same wear and tear as 7 years of a normal person's life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So.
Because you're living out in the elements. Basically, what it means is you're living not a natural life by any means. You're living out in the elements. You're doing all of these other things, but you're outside working your ass off all the goddamn time. You have a shorter life expectancy. Shocking. You know, I mean, only the true thing is I guess we're trying to maintain fitness from an appearance or from a standard height and weight standard, but we're not really worried about what it's doing to us in the long run.
Yeah, this is a really big fucking issue.
Well, and it's not something to where you're going to have a tailored solution to where it's one size fits all, because
everyone's different.
Well, and they've already got their argument hemmed up as far as the chow hall. Whereas for those of us who spend our lives out in the field, what is going to be something that you can do that it's going to be fresh, good for you? You're always out in the field. You're always operating in that way. You know, so.
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
We don't have the answers.
We don't have any answers. We just start the conversation.
Just start shit.
So,
talk shit.
You know. But if you guys want to be a part of the conversation and you have ideas, by all means, comment on our website. It's at cigarsandseastories.com, but specifically on the website where this episode is, so that we can engage in that conversation. Give us your thoughts. Give us your comments. Go ahead, subscribe, rate, review the podcast, share the podcast, all of that other good stuff. And you can enter in for our monthly giveaway drawing, which I talked about earlier on. We're doing a lot more of the stuff with the commercials for 5P and for our monthly giveaway drawing. We're also seeking outward sponsors. We would love to work with fellow veteran-owned and operated organizations. But right now we're working with our collaborative partners, and we'll continue to work with our collaborative partners. Spartan Media, VeteransList.us, Heroes Media Group, and McPherson Marketing Group. But maybe, for instance, I don't know, you've got a nutritional supplement for those guys out in the field and you'd like to work with us. By all means, get in touch with either Bennett or I. You can reach us at contact@cigarsandseastories.com, or you can go on cigarsandseastories.com, click contact, biggity bow. There you go. Fill out the form. Get in touch with us. It's just a straight email to us. You know, it's not a big deal, but you went through our,
no big whoop.
Yep. There are people who reach out to us all the time, and I think that it's amazing. It's one of those things to where not everybody can fit into what we're doing right away, because we do, we try to keep the ball a little bit further out as far as weeks ahead of time. But it's great. We've got people who have suggested guests. That's available up on our website, on the new website. We had taken it down. We had put it back up because now we're on this new website. We got people who are referring friends all the time. It's fantastic. So if you want to get in touch with us, you want to be a guest on the show, you can check it out. Just hover over contact on cigarsandseastories.com. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You can click on join us as a guest and get in touch with us. So, Bennett, do you have any fun factoid stuff for our folks regarding fitness?
I actually don't. I've been trying to figure something out, but the problem is we went too big on the shotgun blast.
We went big on the fitness thing because we have no idea what we're doing as far as
no, we don't.
Concerned.
We have no idea what the fuck we're talking about. So we just talked about like 6 different topics in one. So
right,
I don't.
Maybe this, I'm gonna call it fitness because that's just gonna play so well, on social media. But this episode is more along the lines of just what Marines don't know about fitness and how they fuck themselves up.
And frankly, how they don't give a shit at the moment.
Yeah, really don't care. See, that's the other side of it. Really,
but I guess part of it is that you should. Right. I guess is what I'm trying to tell you from my old ass.
Right.
Is that you should care.
You're supposed to care, but you still don't. Now, I hear what you're saying. It's belligerence. It's rebellion. I don't know how. You're only fucking yourself up.
Stop trying to tell me what to do, faggots.
Right.
Motherfucker.
Right. Who the fuck are you guys? I know. We're not.
Fuck alone. Like, I don't have a fucking first sergeant and a fucking sergeant on my ass all day, every day. Go fuck yourself. Now you're trying to tell me I should eat healthy and all this other shit. I don't have
Right.
time for
But
that
we're
shit.
not. We're not saying that
I'm
you should.
just-
We're saying that we should have when we were there.
Don't be like us.
Don't
as
be
they
like
say.
us.
Don't end up like we are.
It's a telling tale, kids. It's like when the dare officer brings in a crackhead. We are the crackheads. We are the crackheads.
And mermites and MREs are like crack.
And on that note, we cue the music.
Our flag unfurled to every breeze.